All right, we're going live, and we're going to see if anybody shows up. No, that's not where I want to be. This is where I want to go. My channel is live, and kill the audio. Pop out the chat. Coin Dude, hello, hello. I'm just kind of getting this all organized or whatever at this moment. Charles, good evening, my friend. How are you? Pretty close to 7 o'clock, a minute before, but trying to keep the schedule here. There are things I'm still having problems with. No, I don't want McAfee up. Good Lord. Hit the wrong button. But, Chief, good evening. Eric, good evening. Coin Dude, Charles, hello. I am. This and if anybody would like to come up, you're more than welcome. I don't have a whole, nothing, no real official agenda. I've got a couple of things to talk about a little bit, but no real official agenda. But I do want to keep these weekly live streams weekly, just to keep things going. Partridge Family Prospecting, good evening. Oh, we had a couple people out there that were bored to death, didn't have something better to do, but, well, I'm here, and I can help keep you bored. Oh, you go take the trash out, Chief. We'll be here. Eric, I think you're always driving. Do you live behind the wheel? Just a little while ago, got on Kitco and went there and looked at the precious metal prices. They went up a little bit today after all of these days of going down. I don't know what I have not looked at any of the websites to see what people's prices are, but it might be a good time to look and buy if you're in that mood. But then they go up a little bit and they'll beat them back down with a bunch of ETFs. You know what'll happen. But even Billy agrees. See, but they've got gold is up at 1807.60. I mean, that's down about $35 from where it was a week ago. Mark, hello. How are you? Mountain Wolf, good to see you. And silver started going, it went up 2 cents, so it's at 22.72. But so yeah, I mean, it hit bottom and it's heading back up. So this would be the time to spend a little bit of money if you've got some to spend. Billy wants me to spend it on kitty litter and tuna. You got lots of tuna in the cupboard. Gulf Coast ACR Scrapper. Good evening. I'm not familiar with your handle, but welcome. I'll get to know you a little bit. DV8 Stacker, hello. Good evening. A little louder, Mark. She might respond to you. She is one talkative kitty. And I'm over here talking at this screen, which I should actually be talking more at the camera where the microphone is, but she thinks I should be talking to her, or thinks I am talking to her, and she's just responding. But that's what the kitty cat does. But I did something a week ago. I managed to finish my taxes. Has anybody else got to doing their taxes yet? That's Billy. That kitty. She's kind of annoying, but she loves me a lot. Oh, come on, baby. They're always away from the microphone. So, oh, cool. Well, thank you for that, Silver Scorpion. Gulf Coast, I just recently went over 1,000 subscribers, and 2 weeks from tonight, I am having a little celebration party, which is, I'm very, very raw at this live stream stuff. Just kind of starting to feel a little bit comfortable with changing cameras and stuff. And looking for some help with, I've sent out a few emails and I've got a couple of responses, but still got to get the tutorials in before the party in 2 weeks, because we're going to do a wheel of elimination type deal. So I've got to figure out what wheel I want to use and how to use it. And then the program that you pull the names out of chat and plop them onto the wheel. I've got to get to learn how to use those. And for me, it's always easiest if somebody else is there showing me how to do it. That is for true, Charles. The details F me up every time. But the party's going to be fun. I've got about 30 items on hand right now that are going to go and get assigned to. Welcome back, Chief. Hope your trash is safe out at the corner. But I've got about 30 gifts that will be going out to assigned removals from the elimination wheel, or we might find some other device, but it'll be something like that. I think it'd be kind of fun to have something where it shows a bunch of geese flying, and everyone that gets shot out of the sky is attached to a number, which would be a name, and blah, 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 blah. Exactly. If I've got to go through it and fumble through it on my own, most likely I'm going to get frustrated. And if I have someone, I got to push the buttons myself, or I ain't going to learn it. It can't be just somebody say, no, it's here and it's here and it's here. I got to actually do it. But if I have somebody say, see, now that's how it gets right. And when I push the wrong button, I can say, yeah, see how that screwed things up? And there you are, back right in front of the microphone again. I'm telling you, darling, you got to stay. Go lay down on the couch or something. But that will be a fun time. I am, the night of the party, if somebody says, well, I want to sponsor a spot, we'll let other people sponsor spots on it too. But like I said, we're going to have at least 30 gifts on there. there is a contest for people that do shout outs. Here, let me switch cameras and I'll show you what the gift for shout outs is going to be. It's going to be this baby right here. And no, again, I did not bring down the scale, so I don't know what the weight on it is, but it's over 2 ounces, probably somewhere in the 70, 75 gram range, but it's a nice little piece. And somebody who does a shout out will be winning that in 2 weeks from now. Be good to get you off the road, Eric. I like it. I think it's a pretty nice one. I actually like it a little bit better than the one that Ida won at the auction, a week or so ago. The one for JD. But I did them both. I think I probably even did them both on the same day. But like I said, I like this one a little bit better, but I like them both a lot. I'll show you. This has got a real nice bottom on it for stamping. I have not stamped it up yet, but it's nice and smooth and flat and big, so I can stamp it up good. And it just sits there and looks good. Oh, cool. Well, I have known Scorpion, I think from pretty early on to his ventures into YouTube. Always wanting more silver. Hello, hello. He's a good guy. He hangs out with us a lot of the same streams I do. Ida's in the morning and some of Mad Stacker's 50-cent hunts, and here comes Billy again. If there's one thing, that kitty is persistent, but she doesn't like the dogs. I don't get it. And she wants to knock my drink on the floor. I like it cheap, and somebody is going to win that in 2 weeks for doing a shout out video for my party. And there she is, right in the way. Oh, I almost have to hold on to her just to keep her out of there. But Stacks and Stuff, good evening. How are you? Well, not a whole lot, really. I said that I wanted to do live streams every Wednesday night, and so I'm throwing a few things together and trying to get it done. Don't really have a big agenda, but I talked for a minute about the fact that the prices on PMs. I think that they've gone past the bottom and they're starting to head back up. So it might be a good time to break open the change purse and spend a little bit on some precious metals. If you're inclined to at this period of time. I know there are some people that are thinking it's going to get under 20 and they're waiting for that. And, it might, I don't know. I buy mine on my budget. I have so much put away every month. And then I have opportunities to make extra money. If I make extra money, then more goes into it. But I think I might, when I'm done here, go online and start looking around and seeing what stuff might be available with sales on premiums and such here a little later this evening. Oh, this cat is going to drive me insane, and it's a very short trip. Come on, baby. She really, really wants to knock that piece off of that Lazy Susan really bad. It's just driving her insane. That can't stay there. That can't stay there. Maybe if I move this chair, so it's more difficult for her to get up on the desk, and she can just sit next to me. There you go, Stacks. I bought a can of 556. What was it? On Monday, on the 31st of January. Dunham's had a sale through the month of January. I didn't go into the store until the 31st. I didn't realize it. But they had 556, a can of 420 rounds for $100 off. And it still wasn't cheap, almost $1 a round. But it's another 420 rounds. It's enough to go out shooting for a couple of days. And I got the can with it too. So, I don't know. But, it's enough ammo to last me for a month of just farting around. And so there you go. But I think getting food might be a real good idea. I am 1,000% in favor of the trucker protest caravan, and I hope to God that it comes down to the States and happens here. Rocky, how you doing, brother? Cool. Yeah, we need to talk a little bit before you get started on it, but I think you figure out pretty easy what I've got in mind, because we've talked enough already. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you turn those 3 coins into. Rocky's making me a coin bell, but it's a lot more than a coin bell. It's a cowbell, but it's more than a cowbell. It's a lactating ringer. You'll get to see in a few months when he's done with the work and it comes back here. And he might even do a video and show off his work. But it's a project that I'm looking forward to seeing. Got a good question for you. Hubby and I are on a fixed income. I try to buy silver whenever I have extra, but sometimes that is far and few. Why? Wondering if I sell some of my things, it might help. Well, if you make a profit, it might be worth it. You're kind of gambling on the prices going up and then pushing them back down. And I mean, that's definitely been the history for the last several years, is when the prices go up, they push them down with the ETFs. It's the timing in it. And finding the people, particular people that want the exact items that you might consider selling. I'm kind of a pure stacker, although I show things all the time that prove where actually I do a lot of stuff just to make myself smile too. But it wouldn't do you any good if you tried to sell me a bunch of Morgan silver dollars because I won't pay what the numismatists will pay for those. But there are plenty of them out there. You just got to find them. I'm glad you asked. It gave me something to flap my gums about. I ain't no genius and I don't have this stuff right, but I'm stumbling through it. And if it was me, I'm on a fixed income as well, but I do have a part-time job. If it was me, I would know what the budget is that I could spend. I mean, if it's $25 a month, it's $25 a month. If it's $200 a month, it's $200 a month. And I would find things that fit within the budget and not sell anything. I guess I'm kind of risk adverse, but maybe my adversity to risk might actually put myself at risk sometimes too. If you're too careful, you miss the big runs. Poppy, hello. Yeah, Partridge Family, that is correct. There are always people looking to buy. You just got to find the people. And I don't think it's really that hard, but you got to find the people that want to buy exactly what it is that you got to sell. Yeah, Poppy, a little over 1,040 something. So I think I'm kind of safe. Stacks. I don't think I would. I don't think I would sell my silver at $100 an ounce. Uh, and that might be really, really dumb. Uh, I have a good friend from the community that the last time it all got up to $50, he sold his entire stack at $49 an ounce, put the money in the bank, and 2 years later went and bought a stack twice the size as what he originally had. I'd have a hard time sitting on the money for that long. America, how you doing, buddy? You out on the road? But as I'm talking about a little bit earlier, America, love to hear you respond on this a little bit because you are my favorite trucker. And I mentioned a little earlier about I am 1,000% in favor of the trucker protest caravan. I'm hoping that it comes to the U.S. and starts filing out of the West and out of the South and out of New England, and they come in, they just turn Washington, D.C. into a parking lot for the next 2 or 3 months until all of those idiots get off of their duffs and actually do something to make our country work. Well, you're sitting there behind the wheel, my friend. So I'd love to hear your opinion on that. And I will do this again. I did it earlier. But anybody that would enjoy coming up and getting on the live, I'm certainly open to having a little lively conversation. Stacks, I've heard that it's in the plans. I'd like to get America's opinion on it because he is behind the wheel, and he's a contractor driver too. He's driving somebody else's truck. So there's some questions I have in that. Would the company support sending some of their trucks to just sit there? I mean, that would be interesting. But Stacks, you were saying earlier that you're stacking ammo and food. Well, I think that it would be a real good idea to have a lot of food right now, because if this does happen, if the truckers do the protest that I want them to do, and I think a lot of other people want to do, they're not going to be delivering a whole lot of food to Walmart or to Kroger. Or do those companies all have their own private drivers and they're going to be taken care of anyways? I've got good water as long as my electricity doesn't go out. I've got a fantastic well, but they could shut down the natural gas, shut down the electricity. Then I'd be in trouble up here in the cold. But there's a lot of water out in the lake too. And it's hard now, so I could go down and chip off a piece and carry it to the house. But I think things are starting to get a little funky. Gulf Coast, that's a good idea. I think the more food that you can produce for yourself, the better off you are. I see your point, Stacks, but if it happens the way it is in Canada, where 90% of the population is behind it and supporting it, and going out there and bringing food to the truckers and stuff, they might try to do whatever they're going to do to make it look like it's the good guys doing the destruction. Like even up in Canada, I heard earlier today that Trudeau gave Antifa $35 million to make it look like the truckers are being destructive. The statues and stuff that have been peed on and vandalized, it isn't the truckers, it's Antifa. And the good guys are starting to point that out at the point of attack. Do you really? That's an interesting thought. Well, honestly, the stores up here haven't been empty at all. I haven't seen shortages of anything that I'm looking for. I was talking to a guy at the local Meijer the other day when I was up there, and he told me, he says, well, this stuff that we're getting. He said, but there are some things that they're just not getting, period. But they're filling up those shelf spaces with the other things that they're getting. But I haven't found myself looking for something and not able to find it. At least 30% of the people will believe anything that the media puts out there. And the media that wants us all in chains. Yeah, Rocky, I've heard that too. And it makes me giggle every time I think about it. That the first president or Prime Minister Trudeau gave his wife to Fidel. That's just funny. Eric, I've heard that all of those ones that they're sending out to people made in China. Well, what if those swabs have been inoculated with COVID-19? I would worry about that. Chief, question for you. My daughter shops at the PX over in Okinawa where they live a lot. But she doesn't buy any of her meat there, doesn't buy any fruits or vegetables. It's mostly dry goods that she'll buy there. Now, that might be a matter of the fact that it's on the other side of the world, but does your PX have a good supply of fresh meat and vegetables? Well, I think that they're going to send us back a few trillions to pay for the damage they did, Eric. At least I hope so. But then that doesn't bring anybody back. It doesn't take away any of the damage of people that have been hurt. But the CCP needs to be eliminated because it's not just, I think they're worse to their own people than they were to us. They need to be gone. They are not viable humans. If they can't love and all they want to do is destroy and kill, they're not humans. Good move, Eric. I'd get them out of the house and never let them get into the house. That's good to hear, Chief. And I can understand why it's a little bit more difficult for the PX to have fresh stuff on the other side of the world. America, there's a whole bunch of people in Washington that would say, hey, that's a deal. Oh my God. He keeps trying to. I haven't worn a mask yet, haven't been tested yet. Damn sure I've not had a vaccine, which isn't a vaccine. But I'm the evil one. Well, there's a whole lot of conspiracies out there, and the theory behind them is becoming fact more and more and more. But yes, there will always be conspiracies. But when the facts come out, the conspiracies either turn into smoke or they turn into concrete. And I see a lot of them turning into concrete these days. Although there's people out there, a lot of them. I've got a sister that got an email from her this morning, and she told me that she was afraid that I was insane because I wouldn't listen to the corporate medical system. Now, who's insane? Making a comment like that? Or the person who wants proof? Chief, let's go out to Hawaii and get that battleship out of mothballs and take it for a ride. You know, I really don't think there'll be a shot fired in this war. And we are in the middle of a war, and we're in the middle of it. But there just isn't enough collateral damage for us to really see it yet. Yeah, DV8, I'm on one side. Mine. I'm not going to do anything to damage anybody else, but I'm sure as hell going to protect my ass. I agree, Eric. I think that it's the media with their lies and keeping the masses confused, the electronic surveillance, the political, and the financial systems are being brought down piece by piece on purpose. They know what they're doing it on purpose. And it's in a way to get as much from us as they can. This pandemic has been the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of mankind. And we're just getting into it. I think Sam Walton would go on the warpath if he knew what they did to his company. Well, Rocky, out of all of them, it would be the A-10 that I would want to be in because those are badass planes. They might not be fast. They might only do one or two things really good, but man, they are badasses. Sometimes you can be a one-trick pony and just be greatest of all times. Well, yeah, there have been a few shots fired. Um, we bombed the hell out of that Soleimani a few years ago, didn't we? And then Biden got a bunch of our young soldiers hurt when he was running away from Afghanistan with his tail between his legs. Good Lord, I wanted to use another word, but I don't want to offend anybody. This is fun. I wish somebody would come up and talk to me, though. I know I'm not very entertaining. That's kind of why I need this. Anybody out there bored? Every time that I go to do something on the computer, after I have it for a few minutes, first key strike I get all of this garbage coming up for them wanting me to buy different shit that the Dell wants me to buy. And I appreciate every 15 of you that are here, too. But it wasn't even spam mail. It's the pop-ups that come up in front of my screen. So I have to deal with them before I can even click to put that link back up there again. But okay, well, the batteries died in this thing. I've had those for not 2 weeks. Both of them have burned through the batteries. But I get a couple of my new toys out and show you. Here it is. I got this in the mail 2 days ago. Up Instagram. Bullion Brothers. I paid $120 for it. Now that's about $20 more than I like to pay for a 10th ounce. But I wanted a gold lever tad. And so it came up and I bought it. A nice pretty look. And get her under the scopes and she's got nice nipplage. And then it's got the prophecy on the back. But I don't think that I'll buy any more gold Libra types anytime soon. The premiums they want on those things is just absolutely horrendous. But and I've got a representative. And that, yeah, I mean, gold tatas is, that is the rage. That's what gets an old man's attention. Any lady with gold tatas, and then I know most of you have seen this bad boy before, but I have to get that thing out frequently just to look at it. $220 was $215 plus $5 shipping, so it's $220. Exactly, Charles. I mean, how could that ever be wrong? Well, Mountain Wolf, it does say a 10th on it. And I may have said 122. You know, Roxzilla asked the same question, so I probably did. No big deal. I meant 220. But Bullion Brothers on Instagram is where I got that. They had some today, except for they wanted 220 for them, but they came in an airtight. So an extra $5 for the airtight, whatever. But they put up a lot of stuff. Bullion Brothers put up a lot of stuff on Instagram. Maybe not, it's probably a good price for a Libertad, 220. I think if you went to AppMex or something like that, it'd probably be 230, 235. But it would probably be a brand new one. This one is 2015, and it obviously had been handled. That doesn't amount to a hill of beans to me. But this is the one that I really like right now. My channel round. That's 0.8 or just a little over 0.8. Eventually, before summertime, I'll have that up to 1.2 ounces. So there'll be as much gold in that as there is in 50 pesos, which is the biggest coin I will ever buy. And I want my channel round to be a little bigger than anything I'll ever buy. Exactly, Roxella. Gold is gold. I like the Libertads, the stampings on them. It's a prophecy on each side. So that appeals to my Christian nature. But it doesn't mean that I want to spend extra money on my gold all the time. I've got one. That's all I need of those, but I do need more gold. Premiums are bad on everything, Charles. But almost every day I get an email from somebody that says, on silver, mind you, Jessica, good evening. How are you? But I'll get an email at least once a day from somebody that says 50 cents off, 75 cents off on silver premiums for one particular round. There's Chief. Come on up, brother.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, look at that gold. Look at that gold there. That's a nice little nugget.
Yeah, that's a cool 1.7 nugget. 1.7 gram nugget.
That's a good sized nugget.
That's what I'm trying to decide right now if I'm going to pick up some nuggets this month. Am I going to pick up some pay dirt? I'm looking at some that's got 5 grams guaranteed ROI.
If you get a pack of pay dirt that's got that, you're more likely to get good sized nuggets, aren't you?
Yeah, that's how you can get them without having to pay that premium for just buying a nugget. Like you can go on, say, goldnuggets.com or something like that, a couple of sites that I shop on, and you can buy nuggets by themselves.
Yep.
But you're paying a pretty good premium. Yeah, sometimes a pretty good premium depending on the size or where the nugget comes from. Is it an Australian nugget? Is it a Utah nugget? Is it a California nugget?
Are you familiar with Prospector Gold and Gems?
No.
I've got a 10th ounce from them, but they do little 10th ounce rounds with they've got the traditional Prospector on the one side, and I think it's got an eagle on the back of it. But they sell gems, and they also sell nuggets on their websites. And I mean, they've got some nuggets that are $400-$500.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of the ones that I look at, they're anywhere between 2 and 5 gram nuggets, and just depending on where they're coming from. Like if you buy an Australian nugget, say 2 gram, and you buy a Yukon nugget 2 gram, they're going to be totally different because your Australian nugget is anywhere between 96 and 98%
Pure.
pure gold, whereas your Yukon Alaskan nugget or California nugget might only be 86 to 92%. You see what I'm getting at?
Yep,
It's
yep.
the difference between buying a 20 to 22 carat nugget, or are you buying a close to 24 carat nugget?
Did you see what Jessica wrote? She's got a 7-gram nugget from her mom.
Oh, I bet that's pretty.
Jessica, post a picture of that.
I'll bet that's pretty, Jessica.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that would be a nice pendant. See, I look for those also. I look for ones that are 4 to 5 gram that I can turn into a pendant. And I tell you, I had this weird dream the other night about taking some good sized nuggets, taking a pressing them out flat, buying some good chunky ones, pressing them out flat, and putting a logo on them with a stamp, and start collecting a few of them, almost like a coin in a way.
Well, it'd be kind of like the stretched pennies.
Right, exactly, because you're not going to change the outside shape a lot. You're just going to flatten it. But then again, I started thinking about also gathering enough to make, say, 5 gram or 6 or 7 gram coins, get a stamp, and use a press. You can buy a hydraulic press from Harbor Freight for less than $100.
I've got a 20-tonner sitting right in front of me that I got at Harbor Freight 6 years ago for $120.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Use a press like that, get a good die made, and you could pour and make your own coin. I was thinking about
World from Instagram does a great job on the stamps.
who does.
D-Wings World.
Oh yeah, see, I go way back with Big Red, and
Yep.
I know for a long time, D-Wings was Big Red's supplier that supplied any type of stamps that he used.
D-Wing has made all of my stamps too.
Yeah, that's someone I need to contact. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think
her LCS has got a 250-gram nugget on display?
Holy cow!
That's
okay. Divide that by 31. How many?
Over 8 ounces.
Yeah, man. Well, I'd be afraid to have that on display. Whew. I'd have an armed guard standing next to it while it was on display.
Yeah, you're talking about $14,000 worth of gold or more.
Exactly.
The fact that it's a nugget.
Yeah, and you can put a beautiful premium on a nugget like that just due to the fact that it is what it is.
20 grand.
Yeah.
The size of a potato.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I seen that Roxilla just put in. Good to see everybody down in chat. There's a lot of you I never said hello to. Good to see everybody. But
hello.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think a coin thing like that would go over? As far as maybe trying to sell some of them?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly it's going to be a limited group, but um, my vertical pours. Not everybody's going to want a vertical pour. But I still think that they're badass, and I'm going to keep doing them because there is a limited group of people that will want them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's that type of silver art that
Oh, thank you, Jessica.
you
I'll
never
look at
you see
that.
you never know when you're picking out something to pour and make silver art. It's a wild stab at the item that you're picking out to make, whether it's going to be popular with a lot of people or just popular with a few people.
And it doesn't really matter. I mean, it really doesn't because you'll find somebody that does want it.
Yeah, and I really like silver art. Whereas the next person looks at some of the stuff I have and go, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, I guess you have to have that passion, that passion for silver or passion for gold to do this type of thing.
Well, now Bradley, good evening. How are you?
Hey, there's
Pretty
Bradley.
early out where you're at still, but my daughter who lives in Japan, I talked to her about silver and gold, kind of right, and she just, I don't get it, Dad. I don't get it. She said, you got to take care of it. You got to have a place to put it. You got to worry about people. She said, I'd rather just have money in the bank. But I send my grandson, I send her silver all the time. Well, she was over in the States a month and a half ago and went down to her brother's house in Ohio. I couldn't make it because it got trapped up here in a snowstorm. But he started showing her some of his silver pours. And whenever he comes up here, he pours. I mean, that's when I pour a lot of my silver is when he's around because he wants to do it with me. Uh, but he had a silver turtle that he poured and toned. And she saw that and she said, I'm taking this. And I mean, it, it kind of clicked right there with her in just a minute of seeing something that she thought was really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I do the same thing. I'll go in these auctions, especially RN Metals auction and uh, Silver Dragons auction, things like that that do these silver pours. And if it doesn't attract me, then I'm not going to bid on it. If even though I might want it in a way only because of the silver content that's in it, if I don't really particularly like the design, I like pass it up.
Absolutely. I There was a time I started doing YouTube right at 3 years ago, and Silver Dragons was one of the first people that YouTube took me to, and I got real enamored with the work that he did there for a while. And I mean, it's not bad, but it doesn't excite me the way it did a few years ago, and I probably won't. Well, besides the fact that he wants memberships and all of that stuff that I won't do. So
And we also have nowadays, the longer you're on YouTube and the more you're involved with the silver and gold community, you have a lot more choices.
exactly,
And
I
those
at that
choices,
at that time, pouring molten silver into a graphite mold was just amazing to me. You know, but now that look at the work that Bradley does. You know, we've got a real artist right here in the room with us.
yeah, I love the stuff Bradley does. Matter of fact, I have an order coming from Bradley. Should be here in, a week or so. But I love the stuff he does. His bracelet that he just finished with these rings.
That is one of the most awesome pieces I've seen.
Yeah, and you know
I
how much work goes into that. I see it because I know how I watched how he made it, and I can just imagine the amount of work that's in that.
If uh, correct me, Bradley, if I go off the beam here, but I think you said you put 60 hours worth of work into that. Now, for me personally, if I
And that's
was
probably lowballing it.
if I was working on something like that, the 60 hours isn't the big deal. It's the fact that I would be totally frustrated after 15 minutes. And so I'd have to put it down so that 60 hours would turn into like 17 months.
Oh yeah, if you sit down and figure your time in making something like that, but then if you add that, I was discussing this one time with, I think it was Bradley. I know it might have been Silver Scorpion. When you're pricing your items, okay, that you're going to sell, that you're making in silver art, you have to put in that factor of how much do I want to pay myself per hour for making this item? And how long did it take me to make this item? Because I need to factor that into the price.
Exactly.
That's what I would call my premium.
You know,
Uh, it's
I I kind of I put my stuff up basically at about, starting price about twice melt. So with that limitation, I want to keep the amount of work that I'm putting into something at a minimum because I've already got the expenses of the equipment that I'm using and burning up. Crucibles, the furnace. I've been doing. I got my first furnace for Christmas a year ago. I'm on my second furnace now because I burned one up.
I did the same thing.
There's it's not cheap to do the work. There is stuff put into it. So I kind of limit myself because I know, maybe if I put more time into it, I would get to that kind of quality. But I can make some cool stuff that I can sell. As much as anything, I do the little tiny hearts and crosses as giveaways. That way
Yeah.
I can get a little piece of my artwork out there to a whole bunch of people for low expense, or if I am selling them, I'm selling them for cheap, so that people can afford them, and I get my artwork out there all over the place. And the idea for that actually kind of came from Dean and his Tiny Tigers.
Yeah, you have to. Well, it's just like starting up any type of a business. My wife and I own two companies here in Jacksonville, so we kind of know all about this. And you will eat some of your cost only so that you can attract your customers.
Absolutely.
In other words, instead of bringing a lot of those costs into retrieving it from your customers, you just write it off, okay, as that's my write off, that's my expenses for the year, okay? And we don't, especially in our business, try and incur a lot of that in returns from our customers. Of course, you have to pay for your expenses when you're running a company, but not to incur a lot of the cost onto your customers.
Yeah.
It's a touchy road there, and I'm in a very particular type business with a payroll leasing company where I provide services for a company in paying their people, supplying benefits, so on and so forth, and recovering fees for that type of work. It's kind of a very unique type business. Let me put it
Yeah.
that way.
It akin to being an accountant, isn't it?
Yeah, we also do books for the same companies that we provide payroll to, and we make sure that they're ready to roll to their CPA at the end of the year with their books. And we actually have a CPA that we
Work
pay
with.
that takes care of that side of it, the CPA side of it, so that the company knows that their financial side of their business, of their company, is handled for them completely with no problems as far as federal taxes, state taxes, uh, everything, benefits for their employees, you name it. If it has something to do with the administrative side of their company, we do that for them so they can concentrate on their company.
On their product.
That's right, and we can concentrate on their employees.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and it's very profitable type business if you know what you're doing and you know uh, how to do it and the right programs, the right computer programs to have in which to do it. Uh, it's very profitable.
Oh, Bradley, question for you on the soldering. I That's just a tiny little touch with each one of them, isn't it? Charles, I'm glad that you got one of each and that you like them. And Eric, when I came up with these things, um, what I wanted to kind of silver dollar is what I had in mind. I wanted them to be about like a silver dollar pocket piece, and I'm real close on the weight. They're 0.8, so it's just a little bit more than a silver dollar, but it's thicker, a little bit smaller diameter, but it kind of feels about the same in your pocket as a silver dollar. So I'm glad that you picked up on that.
I'm going inside. The dog is barking his butt off out there. I'm sorry if y'all heard that.
Oh, my cat's sitting here
Sterling, do you?
meowing the whole time. I'm not going to worry about your neighbor's dog.
I got to ask you a question. Do you still make those channel rounds that you have?
Absolutely. I've
Can
got three of
I?
them
Can
sitting
I?
on the table right in front of me.
Well,
Here,
I'd like to order one.
well,
You
there's,
can. We'll do email or something, or swap telephone
yep.
numbers or something,
But
and work
see,
out
what
all
I
the
do with
details.
these is I tone them all, okay? And then when people order one, if they want it toned, I'll leave it toned. And if they want it polished, I'll polish it up. And that way, then all of the stampings will pop from the toning.
Oh yeah, tone definitely, definitely. I like them toned.
But I've got a couple more of them here too. There's another one. But
Oh yeah, I like that one.
I recently bought some liver of sulfur, but these ones I all toned with hard boiled egg.
Oh really?
Just hard boil an egg, put it into a container, with a sealed top, put the
Yeah.
sulfur in there with it, and let it set for a couple of hours.
Now, do you do PayPal?
I do.
Okay. I said it would be either that or I'd send you cash, but I'd rather do PayPal.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work out all the details after. But I definitely
Or you
want
can send me that nugget there.
to. I will if you want to make that trade. That's
Gee, you
that's
can.
entire that's entirely up to you.
You pan that, buddy. I don't want to take your big old nugget.
Oh, I got a few of them.
But I have got stuff that I got in September for my birthday for my kids that I haven't got panned yet. But
Really? From September, you said?
yeah, I am not good at it. I've ran it all through the pan several times, but it's like I'm not good at separating it. There's a talent I'm lacking in there somewhere. But they got me a sleuth for Christmas, a little pocket sleuth. And I talked to somebody about how to use that, so I'm going to run all this stuff through that and see what I pick up.
Oh, a little tabletop?
I mean, this thing will literally fit in your back pocket.
Oh, yeah. It's like a little tabletop. I want to get the same thing because some of the dirt I go through, I'd rather, instead of sitting there panning it a spoon at a time, I'd rather run it through a little tabletop sluice.
Yeah, that's what I've done is I've got this stuff. I mean, it's all down to where it's just fine sand. Todd, welcome. Thank you very much for coming and joining us.
Hey, Todd Miller, how you doing, buddy?
Charles, go enjoy your dinner, buddy. I'll be in Ida's tomorrow, but I have to work in the morning, so I'll just be kind of lurking. But I might be able to respond once in a while. I don't get that many customers on Thursday. But or you were talking about earlier, this is something from the store that fits right in with what you were saying. Is sometimes you just eat your profits. And I work in a little party store. You know, we sell some fresh meats. We sell, we've got a little bakery, but it's mostly just horrible foods to eat. You know, the all of the worst stuff and alcohol. But we've got a little shelf in there where we've got some automotive parts, cans of oil, little stuff like that. Well, living on the lake like I do, and with all of the cottages, there's a lot of need for RV antifreeze because people will shut down their cabins in the winter and fill their pipes up with RV antifreeze.
Right.
We bought a case of RV antifreeze because we are the type of store we are, and we have the suppliers we have. Popzilla, how you doing, brother? The prices we pay for things aren't great. I mean, we pay more for a candy bar than you can buy it at Walmart one at a time.
Man.
But we still make our profits, whatever. But the closest big store to here is a half an hour away. So people come in and they buy stuff from us. But we sell a gallon of milk for $5. If I get down to Walmart, I can get it for $2. But we sell RV antifreeze in the store. We have to pay almost $9 a gallon for it. But we sell it for $5 a gallon because that's the going rate. Paula, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, Paula,
Doing
Mr.
well.
Popzilla, good to see you.
How is my brother Pops? You getting ready to
So
go
is
back to
that
work,
your
brother?
store? Is you work at that little store? Is that your store? Or?
No, I work. I wouldn't own it for the world. I work there. All I have to do, I put in 20 hours a week, and I basically have no responsibilities.
Yeah. Well, sounds like a good, relaxing job, actually.
I sleep there most of the time, honest to God. There's a cowbell on the door, and when the cowbell goes off, it wakes me up. But I'll be there for 8 hours tomorrow, and if I have 20 customers in 8 hours, I'll be doing good. but that's Thursday.
Hey, you know everybody knows about the Diane and Joe Durbin bell, silver bell, right? How famous it is. Well, you know who just came up with a bell? It's a silver pourer, a silver artist.
Single piece.
Have you heard of Kevin Rose, who
Oh,
works
yeah, I
for
know
art?
Kevin. I know Kevin.
Yeah. Did you
I've
see
got
the
a couple
bell?
of
Did you
boards in
see the
my
bell
collection.
he just made?
I have not.
Okay, he just made a bell. You got to check out his channel. He's got it on there, a few versions of it. I just ordered that from him today to have one for February 1st. These things are really cool. They're just kind of like the Joe and Diane Durbin bell in a way. And I just fell in love with it as soon as I saw it.
I'm having a Rocky Mountain bar lactating ringer being made.
Oh man,
It's
that
got
sounds cool.
the top coin on it is from Austria, about the size of a $50, but it's got a cow on one side of it with her udders showing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I've showed it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Then the second coin in it is going to be a 24 peace dollar. Um, the the cow coin is sterling silver, so the peace dollar is 90%, and then the bottom coin on it is going to be one of those Mexican onzas before they came out with the Libertads that were made out of sterling silver, and it's got edge writing on it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So
that's going to be awesome.
that's I mean, it's going to make me smile every time I think about it. Put a piece of Rocky's work in my collection, or I should say, another piece of Rocky's work in my collection.
Well, I didn't think I'd ever have a chance to get a Durbin bell. I mean, the last time I tried to grab one at auction, it was when it went up over like 250, 260 bucks or whatever. I said, "Oh, I got to cut it off there. I can't go no higher."
I've
And
got a little Durbin bell that I won from Bigfoot Hide and Seeker from his October extravaganza.
never seen one.
It's a nice little bell, but it's a 2-coin bell.
Yeah, I've never seen one, I don't think.
I'll bring it down here when I do my video next week, so you can see it.
Well, I just had to have this one. I sent him a text today and I said, "Hey," because I'm on like an allowance. I give myself a certain amount of allowance every month on the 1st, and that's all I can spend on my hobby. And unfortunately, I have to stay within that set of guidelines. So I put an order in for February 1st. Said, "Make me one of those bells, man."
I have a little piece of budget out of my fixed income, but I also have my job and what I make off of silver and a little bit I make off of cannabis that is very discretionary for me.
Yeah, with my wife and I at our age, we're on a 3-year plan to get this house totally paid off and be completely debt free, because here in March, I'm going to be filing for my Social Security money. And we don't like to take a lot of money away from the business as far as salary and payroll for us, because then we end up paying it to the federal government in taxes.
Yep.
because we might have went over that threshold, that specific threshold that puts you in a new tax bracket or something like that. So, and in 3 years' time, when I have this house paid off, then it's like easy street, no bills. You just worry about your electricity. And
although we'll probably be under a completely different financial system within 3 years. But
yeah, you're probably right.
Eric, have a great dinner. Thank you for coming and spending time.
As long as they don't take my military retirement away from me, I'll be okay. That kind of stuff right there I've been waiting for them to come out with something where they're going to start pulling money away from.
They tax that pension, don't they?
Yeah, but my taxes are so low. I actually have to add money to that at the end of the year because they tax me.
They're not taking out enough?
Nowhere near what they should take out. So I end up having to add money to that at the end of the year.
My pension doesn't get taxed real heavy either. But like this year, I started my job at the store in June. I didn't really make that much money. I wound up taking standard deduction because it covered everything that I made that was taxable.
Right. Well, my military retirement is close to $20,000 a year. And the last statement I saw for taxes, I think for filing taxes, they took out $1,200 on 20,000. On 20,000.
They should be taking out 10%.
Yeah, it's like I said, I make up for it is what I do when I do my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get money back. I end up paying them, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. Hey, AZ Coins came in.
AZ, good evening. I did mine about a week ago. I'm getting back a little bit over 2,100. So I ordered a couple pieces of gold. But it was like, again, it's discretionary money. All of my bills are covered out of my fixed income.
Well, I can't wait to get my actual Social Security because then I can add a couple of $100 more from it to my
to your play money.
My play money over here. I work with about $500 a month, right in that area, which is really not bad. A lot of people can't do that.
That's huge, my friend.
Yeah, it's
huge.
It's hoping to be like around 700 once I file. I'm filing early retirement because I'm 62, so it's the minimum I'm going to get from the federal government on Social Security because I'm not waiting till 67 or whatever.
I started pulling mine at 62, not because I wanted to, but I got put in a financial situation where I needed the income. And I'm kind of glad of it now because, I thought about waiting until I was 70. If I waited until I was 70, I'd get over about $3,500 a month in Social Security.
I don't know if I'm going to make it to be 70. So,
well, I don't know if Social Security will be around when I'm 70.
Yeah, I'm not going to play that angle on there. 67, 69, 70, whatever, I'm going to draw it just as soon as I possibly can.
Well, I started drawing mine at 62, and if I had waited until this year, it'd be about $500 more than I'm getting.
That's what my wife told me, and I said, okay, so what?
Well,
she says, I hate your damn attitude sometimes, man. And I said, so what?
I needed it at the time. It's like I didn't really want to, but there really wasn't any option for me.
Yeah. And when you're in that position, there's not a dang thing you can do about it. You're just there. And you're right, Bradley. It's going to be nice not to have a house payment, especially when your house payment's been running you $2,600 a month.
Oh, my house payment isn't near that.
Well, I did a refinancing 11 years ago, something like that. And that's what brought it up so high.
I refinanced in September and took out enough. I've been in this house for 6 years, and the value of it has tripled in 6 years.
Oh, yeah. I believe it.
This is some garbage, isn't it?
In some areas,
Does
it's
anybody know
incredible.
who this person is?
No, I was just looking at that.
All right, they're
I think
gone.
we're getting
They're gone.
they gone. Have a nice day. Be safe.
That's bullshit. Red
How
light,
long?
hello. Good to see you.
Hey, red light. Good to see you, buddy. Bot. Mr.
Yeah,
Pop Zilled says
I'm pretty
bot.
sure it was because, I mean, the name was kind of got me thinking, but then the stuff they were typing didn't make any sense to me. And then they put in 5 or 6 posts in 30 seconds.
I know I had to rub my eyes a little bit. I was wondering what I was looking at. I was like, what in blazes is this? Oh, good. Red
Oh,
light.
good.
Good.
Pressure still with you, red light. You got some therapy to go through to get
Oh,
you.
yeah. Now the fun begins, red light. After you get healed up some. Boy, I'm glad I don't have to go through anything like that. I thought I was going to at one time. I thought I broke my shoulder. Thought I was going to have a shoulder replacement. And I was on a kiddie pool, man. You know those things that blow up?
Belly flopper into a kiddie pool?
Yeah, no, you know those things you blow up and you slide down this big long slide.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you climb up these stairs. Well, I did that, and here's Papa. He's going to show off to all the grandkids and everything. So he's going to go down and head first. Yeah, I went down and head first. All right. Instead of hitting the kiddie pool at the bottom, somehow it separated. My head and shoulder went right into the ground.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my daughter, my son-in-law, my wife, everybody had to pick me up off the ground and bring me to the hospital, and I had to have x-rays and MRI done, and
Just kind of ended the party, didn't it?
yeah, it was my granddaughter's 5th birthday party. And the thing is, we got a nice big beautiful swimming pool that we could have been playing in. What do we have to be playing in that damn thing for? I told him. I said, what'd you have to get one of those things for? Oh, and my wife and everybody had it on film. They've got it on film.
The ones that I remember that everybody would think are so innocuous and nothing to them were the slip and slides.
Yep.
You used little metal pegs to stick this plastic to the grass. I can't tell you how many people I've seen skewer themselves on
Man.
one of those things.
Or you don't see that sharp rock that you just put the slip and slide over the top of. The first person that goes down the slip and slide said, oh, shoot, we got a rock here. Yeah, that was not a good day that day. That really sucked. But hey, you know, you learn by your mistakes. Every time they say they're going to get one of those things, I say, yeah, put it up over at your house. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Don't even want to see a thing.
Yeah, don't put it in my. Well, see, I got this great big yard. I got, acreage out here. So the parties have to be at my house because I got all this room in this great big house. This is like the family party house.
Now, do you have an orchard out back?
No, I have a.
Oh, son, you should.
Yeah,
All the
I
citrus you
actually
grow
want to
down
put
there?
some orange. I have like 2 acres over on the side of my house. I want to put some orange trees in.
Absolutely. Oranges, limes,
Yeah,
grapefruit.
grapefruit.
You know, I absolutely love oranges.
I usually do grow,
I eat 2 of them every day.
and I usually do grow a pretty good garden.
But I went to my new doctor on Monday, naturopath, and I've got some respiratory issues that I need to get corrected.
As in
And we
like
went through,
asthma
no,
type.
I'm not going to get into it. It's a very complicated story.
My
But
mother-in-law's fighting a bird, some kind of respiratory disease that they said she got from,
from bat guano.
yeah, from bird feces, from filling up the bird feeder
Yep.
and not cleaning her
I'm
hands
familiar with
properly or
that.
some crap.
But that's not what my issue is at all. It's actually probably more of a liver parasite that's causing respiratory issues. But like I said, it's a complicated issue.
Right, I got you.
But she gave me this book to read. It's diet based on blood type. I'm a
Oh
type
wow.
O. Type O's should not eat oranges. I have to give up my orange. I eat 2 oranges every day. But luckily, I can replace them with grapefruit.
I was going to say, is it the citric acid?
It is the acid, and grapefruit, the acid in them actually turns basic after digestion.
Oh,
So grapefruit aren't a problem. But I found that really it screws with my mind because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Because I always thought of grapefruit as being more acid than oranges.
yeah, I would too. But that could just be a perception that we have. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
due to size or something.
Just the tanginess on my lips.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, and my tongue and everything.
Guys, it is 8:30 now, and I've got to be to work in 11 and a half hours. I got to start getting ready. I got to go brush my teeth.
Yeah, I'm ready to call it a day. That's for sure.
But thank you so much, everybody, for coming up. I appreciate it. Brother Steve, how are you? Man, just as you pop up, I'm getting ready to.
Cyclops Stabs comes in.
Love
We're
you,
just
brother.
getting ready to shut it down almost.
But I do have to get going. My old butt's tired.
Yeah, hey, tomorrow send me an email and I'll send you a PayPal.
My email right here on screen. That's my PayPal.
All right, hang on. Don't go anywhere. Let me write that down.
Yeah, I'll leave it up for a minute. Let you write it down.
Yeah, I'm headed to the office.
Paula, have a great evening.
But you'll have to send me the price and shipping. Let's
50
see.
bucks gets it shipped.
Huh?
$50 gets it shipped.
Oh, I'll do it tonight. JUBIL. It's ANT. So it's JUBILANT.
Cultivation. Jubilant Cultivation.
You're going to have such a difficult
biblical highest form of joy.
Gmail. So
And cultivation is because I work with crops.
okay, I got it. All right, I'll send it tonight.
Well, I won't get this out tomorrow because I'm at work during the entire time.
Oh, you take your time, man. Take your time.
I'll get it out on Friday.
Yeah, there's no rush. There's no rush. Whenever you get it out, you get it out.
I'll get it out on Friday. But like I said, I'll be lurking tomorrow morning because I'll be at work. But I'll be in the live stream in the morning.
All right, we'll see you in the morning, and it's good to see everybody tonight. Thanks for coming in and spending a little bit of time with us. I know it's probably boring, mostly me and Sterling up here shooting the breeze back and forth. But we all love you. Have a good evening, everybody. Be safe.
Appreciate you, Chief. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, Sterling. I always enjoy hanging out with you, man. Bye, everybody.
Rocky, give me a call, send me an email. We'll talk. Bradley, thanks for coming in. Pops, I'll talk to you later, brother.